Hello there, lovely people. How are you all doing? I'm doing fantastic. Today, I'll be discussing two Albait Aldimashqi fragrances with you. 1 million Elixir by Paco Rabanne, the clone of Paco Rabanne 1 million Elixir, and the clone of Dior Sauvage Elixir by Albait. Okay, so two Albait fragrances. I've received many requests to actually do these two fragrances. So today, here I am. First fragrance that I'm going to talk about is Sauvage Elixir Men. See, this is the box, simple box, like all Albite fragrances. Now, this is the bottle, similar type of bottle like all the Albite blue bottles. Sauvage Elixir Men. The atomizer of these fragrances are just top tier. It was decent amount of juice, no issues. So this is the atomizer, how it works. Lovely distribution. I have the dry down on my left hand of Sauvage Elixir. Let me spray this here, fresh one. So the smell. Let me read out the notes to you first. Albait Aldimashqi Sauvage Elixir contains cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, grapefruit right at the top. The mid contains lavender, and the base contains licorice, sandalwood, amber, patchouli, vetiver. So these are the notes. So the smell of the clone Sauvage Elixir. How's the smell? Let me tell you. I have to dry down here. Let me tell you straight up that when I actually applied this one, even now when I actually sprayed this one, I'm not a fan of this particular perfume. Is it a good clone? I'm gonna say not a straight one-to-one clone, but this will remind you of Sauvage Elixir. But I don't know, there's something missing in this one that is just not cutting it out for me. There's something missing out in this particular clone. So reminds me of Sauvage Elixir, yes, but am I gonna keep this one and use as an alternative to Sauvage Elixir? I don't think so. Let me describe the smell to you. Smell wise, this one starts up very spicy. There is beautiful cardamom note, there is nutmeg, there is cinnamon. Not just spicy, the spiciness is mixed with this slight hint of freshness, but the freshness goes away instantly. All I'm getting is the licorice type of vibe. There's spiciness in this fragrance. So the dry down on my hand is like sandalwood. There is this is a little creamy. There is a bit of sweetness in this dry down. Also slight bit of earthiness. Very licorice type of smell. This one, especially the clone. The opening is spicy. There is I can detect the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the slight hint of grapefruit, but heavy dose of spices. The dry down, like I told you, the dry down becomes slightly aromatic because of the lavender. So I can detect the lavender tone. The lavender tone is nice, but then immediately this one turns out to become licorice. This one turns out to become slightly creamy. So there is tonka bean. Slightly, you will get also the earthiness from the vetiver and the patchouli, but the earthiness is not pronounced enough. So the earthiness needed to be more pronounced to give some dimension, but this is mildly spicy, mildly earthy in the dry down. The opening is very spicy. The dry down is more like creamy sandalwood, tonka, licorice. So this type of smell. So is it a good clone? Like I told you, there is something missing that misses out somehow. Not a straight up clone, not a straight up, not a very good clone, but a decent fragrance that will remind you of Sauvage Elixir. So I don't want to bash this fragrance too much. I don't want to actually throw this away. This is not a fragrance that deserves throwing away. So this is a fragrance that will remind you of Dior Sauvage Elixir. So if you guys are on a budget, if you have a budget of $22, $23, that is 2600 taka in Bangladesh, you can try this fragrance out. Dior Sauvage Elixir is very expensive, 16,000 taka for just 60 ml. So you can grab this and get the taste of Dior Sauvage Elixir. Okay. So performance wise, this fragrance is very good performer. On my skin, I got 5 hours of longevity easily. On my clothing, where at least 8 to 10 hours on my clothing. So on my clothing, if I go heavy, if I always go heavy, so I get 8 to 10 hours on my clothing. So projection was 1.5 hour of decent projection. There goes the longevity. Occasion wise, you can use this in winter, you can use this in summer, no problem. All year round fragrance. There is spiciness, there is very mild freshness, spiciness, creaminess, earthiness, slight hint of earthiness. So all year round fragrance, you can use this whenever you want, office, casually, formally, no problem. So there goes the Albait Sauvage Elixir Man. Now let's move on and talk about the 1 million Elixir. Paco Rabanne's 1 million Elixir clone. This is it. This is the box. Same type of box. And here is the fragrance. 1 million Elixir. 1 million Elixir Man. Let me show you the atomizer. See? I have the dry down of 1 million Elixir here on my right hand. Let me spray this here. Man, the oil quality of Albait Aldimashqi. Sometimes it's too much, too dense. So the smell of 1 million Elixir. From the first hit, I'm detecting this apple. Slight hint of apple and cinnamon like opening. This is a better clone. This is a better clone than the Sauvage Elixir Man. I think 1 million Elixir, the clone, is kind of close to the OG 1 million Elixir. I've tried out the OG 1 million Elixir, and let me tell you, this one is a worthy purchase. So if you're on a budget, $22, $23, 2600 taka in Bangladesh, you can try this one. This is a very good clone, I think. To me, this is a good clone. From the starting, this is really nice. Even the dry down is really nice. Let me read out the notes. So the 1 million Elixir contains apple, davana right at the top, then damask rose, cedar, and osmanthus. Then the base contains vanilla, tonka bean, and patchouli. The smell wise, let me tell you, this is a very fruity, very vanilla dominant, sweet type of fragrance. So opening wise, what I'm getting is this apple. There is slight hint of cinnamon like spiciness as well, but there is no cinnamon listed. I'm getting this beautiful warm, then spicy, kind of fruity, very fruity actually, very fruity opening, sweet type of opening as well. So apple is there. There is also davana, which is giving this slight hint of green tone. I can get this slight bit of aromatic vibe coming through this fragrance. So aromatic, slightly green, very mild green tone mixing with the fruitiness. In the dry down, this one actually shines. The dry down is very vanilla prominent, very creamy. On my skin, the dry down smells powdery. I can smell this tonka type of powderiness. There is vanilla, dominant vanilla note. So slight hint of earthiness as well. Very mild earthiness mixing with this dominant vanilla, dominant tonka like powderiness and creamy vanilla. Very sweet dry down. So opening is impressive. Very nice apple. Very sweet. Very sweet earthy davana. Beautifully done. The opening is very phenomenal. This is nice. The dry down is also impressive. The dry down on my skin becomes powdery, becomes slightly earthy. I'm detecting this high dose of vanilla. So if you like vanilla fragrance, if you like fruity fragrance, you're gonna like this one. There is slight bit of floral tone in this fragrance that makes this fragrance little different. Slight hint of floral, very mild floral tone. That is lovely actually. I'm liking it. The floral tone is actually rose listed, so I'm not getting the skanky type of rose, nothing like ether, no, but the rose is nicely done, very mild. But the most prominent note here that I'm getting is the vanilla. This is a very vanilla dominant, tonka, powdery type of fragrance with the highlight of apple. The apple is adding the fruitiness in this fragrance. The davana is giving this fragrance the slight hint of earthiness along with osmanthus. So you're gonna get earthiness, you're gonna get fruitiness. This is a nice smelling fragrance. Like I told you, this is a nice clone. This one reminds me of 1 million Elixir. This one actually gets very close to 1 million Elixir. So I'm not going to give you a number, but man, oh man, this is a better clone. The other fragrance that I reviewed, Sauvage Elixir, man, better than that fragrance. So this is a better clone of 1 million Elixir. So performance-wise, this is a very good performer, dense, sweet kind of fragrance. So lasts on my skin for 4 to 5 hours easily. On my clothing, 8 to 10 hours easily. So projects for 2 hours. The first 2 hours, this one projected very nicely. The sweetness, the earthiness, the fruitiness was there throughout the 2 hour mark. Very nice, very nice. Performance wise, nice. Occasion wise, this is a sweet fragrance, so this will work really well in winter season, in controlled environment like air conditioned room. So this is a wonderful winter fragrance. You can use this in summer night time when the weather is tolerable. So where you can wear this easily for your date nights, casual outings, parties, night outs. This is a sweet type of fragrance, very attractive, inviting type of scent. Nicely done by Albait. So there you go, 1 million elixir. So pricing wise, these fragrances are like I told you, $22 to $23, 2600 taka, 2500 taka to 2600 taka in Bangladesh. So there was the pricing. Now I talked about two fragrances, these two, Albait Aldimashqi. One is Sauvage Elixir Man, one is 1 million Elixir Man. Which one do I like the most? I like this one. Sauvage, the 1 million Elixir Man. This is a better clone in terms of the similarity with the OG. This is a better clone. This is okay, but like I told you, the Sauvage Elixir Man, there is something missing. Plus, at the same time, I feel like this reminds me of Hina, whatever you call it, the Mehdi in Bangla that we use, many girls use in their hands to decorate their hands, to embellish their hands. The Hana type of smell is there that is kind of off-putting to my nose. So overall, I like this one, 1 million Elixir Man. This is a good clone. So there goes my review for today. I'll see you guys next time with another fragrance review. Take care, everyone. Peace.